SVN life cycle. Before understanding the life cycle or something, what is SVN all about, I would like to tell you. It is nothing but the Apache subversion abbreviated as SVN, and it is this under the category of centralized version control system. And this is mainly to focus about understanding the centralized version control system, and later we can get into Git, which is a part of the distributed version control system. So for understanding Git, it is important to understand about the centralized work structure, and then we can move on to the different functionalities of Git in the further chapters. So understanding the life cycle of the version control system, first is for SVN, first comes with create repository. First, I'll explain you in brief, and later I will show you what softwares are installed and how the exact repository is being created. So first of all, the repository is created, and this repository is a central place where all developers store all their work. Repository not only stores files but also the history of the changes, as I mentioned in the previous chapters. And it maintains everything, whatever the modifications it has been done. The create operation is used to create a new repository. Most of the time, this operation is done only once. Repository is created only once and the code is manipulated as and when needed. So your version control system will expect you to say to identify it. Like you need to identify whenever you create a new repository, such as where you want to be created, what should be the name of the repository, and many more things. So that is done with the SVN. Second comes is checkout. Checkout operation is used to create a working copy from the repository. Working copy is nothing but a private place. It's like a local copy for each and every developers. And later on, submit these changes to the repository. Next is update. Update, as the name suggests, is used to update a working copy. The operation synchronizes the working copy with the repository, as repository is shared by all teams, developers, and can commit their changes and working copy becomes older. For example, let's say A and B are the two developers on working on the project. Both check out the latest version of the repository and start working. At this point, the working copies are completely synchronized with the repository. Suppose B completes its work and efficiently and commits its changes to the repository. In that case, the working copy with A, that is previous developer, is out of date because B has committed the changes and the working repository, the main repository, has the updated changes. So the update operation will pull whatever B's changes are done, and that will give the updated copy to the A's version. That is how it works. Then comes with perform changes. After the checkout, one can do various kind of changes. Edit is the most common operation. One can edit the existing file to add, remove, and do the necessary changes in the file. One can add files directly, but immediately these files directories do not become a part of the repository. Instead, they are added to the pending change list and become a part of the repository after the commit operation. Similarly, one can delete files and directories. Delete operation immediately deletes file from the working copy, but actual deletion of the file is added to the pending change list, and the changes are made to the repository after the commit operation. So that thing I will explain you in detail. Once I explain these particular terminologies, I will explain a live example and tell you. Review changes is the next step. Review changes is like when you check the working copy or update the working copy, then your working copy is completely synchronized. That's all I can say with the repository. But as you do the changes to the working copy, becomes newer than the repository, and it is a good practice to review your changes before committing the operation. So that is like a major operation of reviewing the changes. Status operation lists the modification. There is a status operation in SVN which lists all the modifications. But as we have mentioned before during our discussions, that whenever you make changes in the working copy, all these changes become part of a pending change list. And the status operation is used to see the pending change list. That is about the review changes. Another important thing, one can use the difference of operation to see different type of modifications that can be done. Fix mistakes is the next step. Let us suppose one has made some changes in the working copies, but now he wants to throw away these changes. He does not want to make any of the changes in that particular file, whatever he did for now. So in this situation, it is better to revert your operation, that is revert. Revert operation reverts. It's like it removes, undoes whatever the modifications that has been made to the working copy, and it is impossible to revert one one or more file directories. So it's like possible also, but it is also possible to revert the whole working copy. So in this case, the revert operation will destroy whatever the pending changes has been done and bring back the working copy to its original state. That's about like fix mistakes, resolve conflicts. Major part of the concern with the SVN life cycle. Conflicts can occur at the time of merging. Whenever you merge a code of say developer A and developer B, then merge operation automatically handles everything that can be done safely. Everything else is considered as a conflict. For example, hello.c has modified in a branch and deleted in another branch. In such a situation requires a person to make a decision. The resolve operation is used for by the user to figure out the changes what has been. The next step is about committing. Once you have resolved the conflicts, so like I said, developer A and developer B has two different type of the versions and you want to fix both of them. So that is like merging happens with the resolve conflicts. Next is commit changes. Commit changes is like you are committing whatever you have completed. Commit operation is used to apply changes from the working copy to the repository. The repository modifies whatever the operations has been done and the developers can make the changes and commit it. Once committed, you cannot take it back. So before commit, one has to add the files directories to the pending change list and later he or she will commit the operation. So commit is an atomic operation, again I'm repeating, which means that either commit succeeds or it is rolled back. User will never see any kind of half finished commit. So that's about understanding the life cycle. Next chapter, I will focus on the installation of Tortoise SVN and how a sample repository takes place, like creation with the performance, review changes, update, commit, and many more. After getting a better picture of SVN lifecycle, we'll move more on Git because understanding the centralized version control system is a must before you understand the other type of the version control system. So that's all for this chapter.